So how do we develop grit? There are 5 primary things. Number 1, develop a fascination. We'll talk a little bit more about that. 2, strive to improve every single day. 3, remind yourself of the greater purpose to have this kind of grit. And adopt a growth mindset. The idea that you can and will do better tomorrow, that things can change. And then, of course, surround yourself with gritty people. So develop a fascination. This was a piece that took a little bit of time for me to fully embrace, and I hope I can impart on you the importance of it. The things that we are fascinated with, we have a tendency to spend more time working on and learning about and mastering. When we have a fascination with golf, as an example, we will study folks who do it well. We will visit various golf sites. We will learn everything we can about the equipment. We will read books. We will do whatever is necessary to entertain this fascination, this new curiosity that we have. The cool part about fascination is the more fascinated you become with something, the more you learn about it, the greater your competencies in those areas. It becomes at some point such a passion, but it needs to start with fascination. You need to ask yourself, what questions are the most intriguing to you about this thing? If we're talking business, what's so fascinating about being in the car business or in the business of repairing or the wild birds concept? What's fascinating? Pick 1 or 2 or 3 areas of your business. What's fascinating about people? What's fascinating about systems? What's fascinating about CRMs? What's fascinating about marketing and social media? Become completely fascinated with your business. And then begin to ask yourself, what can I learn about this particular thing that I am fascinated by?
And Rebecca,
You're fascinated. Yes.
Rebecca, this is Holly. I just want to jump in real quick. Anybody that has questions as this go, I see some of the questions coming in the chat box. Please put your questions in as we go, and we will answer everything that you ask at the end.
Thanks, Holly. So this fascination will create passion, and the passion will fuel your grit. The more fascinated you are about something in your business or something in your life, the more passionate you're going to become, the more courageous you're going to become, and the more you're going to spend time and resources within that particular passion or fascination. The other thing that's kind of cool about a fascination that ultimately turns into a passion is we become more competent. And the more competent we become at something, the more passionate we become about something. If I am a terrible skier and I have no passion regarding it, then I likely am not going to do it very frequently. But if I decide I am going to be an incredible skier, I'm going to be fascinated with every aspect of skiing, and I'm going to learn what I can, and I'm going to apply what I learn. In time, that passion grows, and my competencies also grow. It's rare that we are good at something coming out of the chute. Yes, raw talent will take you to a certain extent, but effort and fascination and passion will take you to the next level. Strive to improve every day. Once you've decided what this passion is going to be, you may not have it yet. It's going to start as a fascination. It's going to start as a seed. Then strive every day to improve and learn about that particular passion. So an example, actually, I saw this online the other day, and I thought it's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. If you have a fascination with basketball, and you have a passion for basketball, and you want to get better, this is the place where now you start to assess, identify, and isolate the components that are going to make you fabulous at that particular thing. You're going to apply 100 hours to shooting baskets. But player A is shooting 200 practice shots because he has a colleague, a mentor, someone giving him feedback that is giving him the basketball back so he can shoot again and again and again. And there's a record being kept of it, the shots that were made, what was missed, what mistakes did I make during that. And then I spend time thinking about that and critiquing and doing it again and again. Player B spends the same 100 hours, but he doesn't have a mentor. He doesn't have a colleague. He doesn't have any way of getting feedback. He's just shooting maybe 50 shots because he's having to retrieve his own shots. And he dribbles, leisurely to get back. It's exhausting to constantly go back. And then he takes several breaks. Which of these two players who have invested this same 100 hours is going to get to high achievement? Keep in mind, the hours that you're spending every single day are the same for you as it is for me. How you apply that? Are you assessing, identifying, and isolating why something is working and why something isn't, and taking it down to smaller pieces and working just on that shot, just on that part of the business? Be courageous. Do it anyway. Do it daily. You don't have to be good initially, but do it anyway. We have a tendency when we are kind of average at something to not do a whole lot of it. We do the things that we are good at. If we're great at customer service and administrative stuff, we get caught up in that. And we're not so great at the marketing and sales. But I'm going to suggest you want to become great, you want to be a high achiever, do it anyway. Make the calls, shake in your boots, cry afterwards, whatever you need to do it anyway, and do it every single day. The more you do it, the more your competency muscle works, the more your grit develops, and you're going to have to lean less and less and less on this thing called courage. Initiative is a form of courage. Initiative builds courage. If you go to that networking meeting, even though you are an introvert, and you do it again and again, and you read books on how to work a room, and you get coaching from someone who's a master communicator and small talker. If you go again and again, you're going to get good at it. And it's going to require less and less courage. All you have to do is take some initiative. Secondly, remind yourself of the greater purpose. The most gritty people are those who see their ultimate aims as deeply connected to a world beyond them. There's a spiritual purpose behind what they are doing. The bricklayer who is laying bricks for a cathedral, he is working for God. The janitor that puts the man on the moon at NASA, and I'm sure you've all heard of that story where John F. Kennedy is walking through NASA and he encounters a man and he asks the man what his job is or what his role is at NASA. And the janitor replies, "Sir, I'm helping to put a man on the moon." A bigger mission, a bigger purpose. It's not just about sweeping that floor. It's about putting a man on the moon. Get purpose in your life. The doingness of making that call or going to that networking meeting or studying that particular thing, the purpose behind it is what? To transform something, to empower someone, to, what is it? Find what that purpose is. The bigger the purpose to these little things that you have to do, the bigger the purpose, the greater your passion and the greater your perseverance. If it's simply to pay the mortgage and there's nothing greater than that behind it, it gets more and more difficult to get up every single day and do what you need to do. Next, adopt a growth mindset. Many of us believe that we have this mental capacity, that our abilities are in some way fixed. We have so much intelligence. We have so much physical flexibility in our body. We have this belief that our abilities are fixed, and we can go to the edge of them, but there's nothing beyond that. I want you to begin to believe that you can learn, you can grow, and you can change. That the brain is plastic. We can create new neurological synapses by attempting something. I can tell you, I have a granddaughter that has a body much like me, which has very short muscles. I am not a flexible person. I have that kind of sturdy German body. And she decided she was going to become a world-class dancer. She had to put in much more effort than any other dancer I've ever seen. She stretched and she practiced and she listened to music and she watched videos. And now today she runs a dance school and she instructs others, and she is a dancer. Never in my wildest dreams did I think, looking at her body type, that she could do ballet, she could do jazz, she could do hip hop. But this is a child that had a mission, and behind that mission was something larger than just dancing. It was to touch the lives of children in a bigger way and have others believe that they too could do the impossible. This optimism is a muscle also. It will help you go the distance. This belief that you can, even with just a morsel of talent, you can if you put in the effort, if you regularly get yourself some critique and find the areas that are blind spots and develop those areas. You can go the distance by putting in effort. Remember, effort is 2 to 1 is talent. So you can do the effort. That is the choice that you have. And the brain is capable of learning anything, and the body can be pushed. The power of yet versus the tyranny of now. Carol Dweck wrote a book called The Growth Mindset, a great book on the idea that our society is so focused on now, instant gratification. If I can't do it now, I probably can't do it down the road. She recommends we begin to have a yet mindset, the power of yet being you may not be able to do this thing that you wished you could yet. And to literally be thinking through those kinds of filters that says, I am not the #1 salesperson yet. I don't have 600 franchisees in my franchise organization yet. And then begin to look at what it requires to get to the now, to get where you want to go. Break it down into smaller pieces and say, I don't have it yet, and here are the 6 things that I need to get better at, and then spend your time and effort on those things. And finally, surround yourself with gritty people. This grit that people have is in many ways contagious. I put this picture of the aspen trees up just to stimulate your thoughts a little bit. If you don't know the structure of the aspen tree, if you look underneath the ground, it is one set of roots that all aspen trees in an area come from. One set of roots. They're all connected. So as one becomes more gritty, the all becomes more gritty, so to speak. So look at the company that you keep. Are these folks gritty? Are they great in those areas that you're not great in? And what can you do to put yourself around gritty individuals. Maybe they're athletes. Maybe they're high performers in other areas. Maybe they're tenacious with their diet. Maybe there's something that they have grit in. Grit is contagious. If you're spending time with individuals whose idea of success is having a lot of fun and going to the bar and listening to music, nothing wrong with all of those things. But it doesn't develop grit. It develops a palate for alcohol, and you might learn a whole lot about the different kinds of alcohol. It may even develop a passion for music and a joy for entertainment and music. Is that what you want? What's the purpose behind that? Are you going to be a talent agent? Then that might make some sense. But if we're spending our time in environments and with people that aren't encouraging us to have greater self-discipline and tenacity and commitment and grit and stick-to-it-ness, then we are investing that same 100 hours as that basketball player was doing, shooting some free throws, but not getting the feedback and not really focusing on what it is that is the true purpose and the true passion. So if you're interested, the assessment is on our zorkaprofiles.com site. It takes about 15 minutes to take the assessment. You receive a report back that a prospective franchisee might see. It does not include the emotional and social intelligence marker. But if you take the assessment from our site, we will forward, Phil or I will forward to you your Eclipse report that will show you your markers in these gritty areas, the areas of optimism, initiative, commitment, drive, self-control. We will send you your results. So if you're curious what your grit quotient is, you might want to take a look at that.